to my channel. I know it's been ages, but I have just been really stressed out. So today I've come to do a different type of video, and that is my 5 tips to handling stress. So I've been doing a lot of these tips of recent because I've been feeling a bit down and a bit like, you know, I'm not where I expect to be, or you know, I've set targets for myself and I'm not there. So this is how I've been dealing and coping with those stress levels. So tip number 1 is talk to yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Talking to yourself, having like private speech time is actually meant to be very good for you. You know, tell yourself the type of advice that you would give to other people. So for example, if I'm feeling really stressed out because I can't figure something out, I say to myself, Temi, sit down, breathe and relax. It's okay, you can do this. And then I start asking myself questions like, what do I need to do first? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to help me? Also, talking to yourself is great because you are never alone. So you always have somebody to listen to you, and that is yourself. And that's good. That helps to relieve stress. What I also do as well, it could just be I just feel stressed, and it's not necessarily because of it, you know, because I've got to do something, or you know, I'm rushing to meet a deadline. What I like to do is read out loud. As you can see, these are all the books that are on my reading list, and I like to just sit down and read out loud. Also, if you're reading something like a motivational book and stuff, actually listening to it, hearing the words that are motivating out aloud, there's something about that that just de-stresses you. Give yourself a prep talk. Give yourself a compliment. Temi, I'm feeling your natural afro kinky hair look today. You are beautiful. You're amazing. Like all of those things. And shout out actually to my friend Lola Ebony. She recently did a video and she said, give yourself a compliment. If nobody's there to compliment you, compliment yourself. And again, with talking to yourself, I think that something that is really useful is talking in third person. So for instance, if there's a situation that's really stressful, you can say, Temi would be really stressed in that situation, but I don't think she's going to be stressed in that situation today because she can handle it. And by detaching yourself from the situation and talking as if it's somebody else just gives you that calmness and that sense of being able to deal with it. That's something that I have been using. Top tip number 2. So, listening to others. Listening to others is great because you're doing a good thing. You're being there for somebody and you're listening to them and you're listening to their problems. So that makes you feel good and less stressed because you know you've just done a good deed. And also there is something about listening to other people's problems that allows you to put your own problems into perspective. You know that people always say there's always a worse situation out there. There's always something that's your situation isn't the worst situation, or that, what do they say? That there's always, someone has always been through it. But listening to other people's problems does allow you to put things into perspective. It gives you ideas on how to either deal with your situation or how not to deal with your situation. So if somebody's told you that you know, if somebody in the same situation with you has told you that they did a solution and it just ended up in disaster, you know not to do that. So listening again is an excellent way you can reduce your stress levels. I found a quote that says, silence is a source of great strength. Silence is a source of great strength. So sometimes just in listening, you create a strength within you that you never even knew you had. Top tip number 3 is I do adult colouring book. So I have a few, but this is the one that I'm loving at the moment. If you can see the intricacy of the detail. Let's see if I can show you the one that So this is what I've been working on now. People who follow me on Snapchat will see that it's not finished. I've been on this for ages. But I love doing this colouring in book because it allows you to just explore feelings, self-awareness. It's good. Like, so research shows that people who do adult colouring in, it kind of decreases the chances or delays the chances of getting those old age illnesses. So I really like it because when I'm colouring in, when I'm trying to pick what colours are best, what colours go next to each other, I am not thinking about whatever the problem was. I'm just concentrating, and I'm in a world of colour, and that also allows me to just de-stress, and I really, really like that. It reduces stress and it helps to slow down the effects of old age. Although I must admit, sometimes I do get really stressed if I go outside of the line. So I've just kind of honed in on, not drawing outside of the line so I can be calm. But I really, really do like that. I also have one for on the go. So I have this one, and look, it says keep calm in colour. And I have it, and I really like this one because you can tear out the pages and just have them. So you can give them away to people. You can put them in this folder. I don't know, sign it and give it away to people or as gifts or whatever, so your artwork can brighten up somebody else's day. And that, again, if you've made somebody else happy, will reduce your stress level. So top tip number 4, what I like to do is I like to have a nice glass of wine if I'm feeling a bit stressed. And for all my younger viewers out there, if you are not old enough to drink, you could always drink cranberry juice from a wine glass. That's what I do sometimes if I'm trying to detox or whatever. I don't feel like drinking alcohol. I'll just put fresh juice in a wine glass. And there's something about sipping that is soothing. I thoroughly enjoy doing that. Also, what I like to do while I'm sipping from my wine glass is burn a nice calming candle. So I'll do another video about essential oils and stuff, but there are things that, there are properties within some candles that can be very calming. So chamomile, for example, is very calming, and I just relax. And the soft lighting from a candle, the soothingness from a glass of wine, that is something that I do to calm. And a lot of poets and stuff have said to drink a glass of red wine, and that gets their creativity flowing. And I think that there's something in that. But again, if you're not old enough to be drinking, don't do that tip. Replace that tip with cranberry juice or orange juice or apple juice. It has the same effects, because not only do I like to drink a glass of wine, but eating right. So I will have a plate that's filled with colour, and I notice that when I've eaten well, then I feel a lot less stressed. If I go out and buy some fast food, I do feel stressed, because then I feel like a fatso, like why did I just go and eat that? Now I have to worry about the double chin and all of that kind of stuff. So eating well and having a nice fresh glass of juice or a glass of red wine is something that I do to de-stress. And top tip number 5, and this is actually my favourite one, I think, is have a good old cry. Crying is your subconscious way of letting out, of releasing the pressure that's within you. And I think there's nothing wrong with a good cry. Crying is good. Crying shows that you're human. Crying also has practical reasons, like it allows you to get rid of the toxins, and I like to think of that as a spiritual as well as sort of biological product of crying. So crying, obviously gets rid of the dirt and stuff that's in your eye, but it also gets rid of the negativity that's within you. And the average person should cry for about 7 minutes. Like a good cry is like 7 minutes long. I just like to cry. I like to cry. I think there's something empowering about crying, because once you've got all those tears out, then you're like ready to keep it moving, and I think that's good and that's healthy. So don't be afraid to cry. And also, if you're a guy, don't be afraid to cry too, because like I said, it releases the toxins, and you could just be like, oh, there's something in my eye, but really you're crying because something sad just happened, but it's okay. And crying is a natural way to reduce stress. So I hope that you found this useful. Try out my top tips. Let me know what you do to reduce stress, and I'll be excited and looking forward to hear that. Thanks for watching. Bye.